What is going on, my specialists? SPC here, and welcome back to an all new episode of Tales of a Star Wars Fan. Today's guest, I have got Will from Padawan Pops. Will, how you doing, man? It's been like 3 years since I think the last time that we talked. So,
Yeah.
life's been busy for both of us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Austin. It's good. It's busy, like you said, but man, can't complain. Happy to be here.
Yeah. I know last time we did something. It was, I think it was the Great Debate on the Force Awakens. That was
Yeah. TFA.
Yeah, that was fun, man.
That was a
That was
long
excellent.
time ago. 2023, I think, is when we did that.
Oh wow, I didn't know it was that long. Wow, yeah,
Yeah.
wow, yeah.
Been a minute.
Lots changed since then. So,
Yeah.
all right, man. Obviously, the concept of this show, it's basically five pretty simple, easy questions. Obviously, take as long as you want to answer the question, get as detailed as you'd like as well. So, as to kick us off with the first question. What first got you into Star Wars?
See, you say these are easy questions, but they're not easy questions. I was going through them and I've got like multiple answers for all these questions, but I will try not to drag your show down with all my answers. So what what first got me into Star Wars thinking I was probably I want to say I was in kindergarten. I was like 6 years old at the oldest. We had a local movie store. Like we don't have those anymore, right? But you would go
Yeah,
in and they had all the VHSs up on the wall. This was in the 90s. And there was, the original trilogy is all we had at this point cuz one had not come out yet. I do remember that. So there was Empire, New Hope, and Return of the Jedi. And I'm pretty sure I started with Empire because I just
okay.
remember, we would go every weekend and we picked that up and they would give you free popcorn on the way out or something. And so I remember watching it at one point and I don't remember much about it other than the Luke and Vader fight at the end of it. And at that point, like I don't know that I was hooked on Star Wars per se, but I definitely liked it as a kid, laser swords. It was super cool. But then episode 1 came out and I really liked it. And then episode 2 came out and I actually saw it in theaters. And at that point, Star Wars was my thing. I had the toys, I had all the movies, the DVDs. Like it was great. So it was probably a slow build up, but the prequels really got me in, even though I started with, I think Empire was the first one I watched, not having a clue what was going on though.
That's pretty similar to me, man. I remember it was a cold winter day, and me and my dad we were trying to find something to watch, man, and we turned on TBS, and there were the AT-ATs walking up to Hoth, attacking it. I
Yeah.
was looking at him. I'm like, What is this? This is crazy." He's like, "This is Star Wars." So we watched the movie. 2 weeks later, I don't know where he got them. He found the rest of them, so we watched all three within a couple of days. And literally that same weekend, the trailer for Phantom Menace came out. So
Oh man.
it was like I was destined to become a Star Wars fan. And man, I was so happy. And I mean, obviously, my fandom has like exploded now.
Same.
Yes, oh, it's beautiful
Now,
lightsabers back there.
this is probably a dumb question for me asking you, but do you remember like the KFC and Taco Bell? They had all the Star Wars stuff for the Phantom Menace when it was coming out, right? I think
Yep.
that's when I first started. I was a kid again, so I think that's probably the first time I had KFC. Was like I want whatever they had because they would have those where they were all in the same store, like Taco Bell, KFC, and something else or something like that. Wherever I
I think it was
was,
Pizza Hut. I think it was
maybe
Pizza
it was
Hut.
Pizza Hut, yeah. And so like we went in there and they had all the Star Wars stuff. So like those were good times.
Yeah, I still have a Yoda back here, but man, I had Yoda, I had Jar Jar, I had Queen Amidala. I can't remember the general's name, but I had the general too, the General
Tanaka.
Gungan.
Oh, the
Tanaka.
no, the
Oh,
Gungan. Tanaka is the Naboo guy. I don't know the Gungan.
I don't either. I
I
can't.
know who he is, but I don't know his name.
Yeah, I had them. I still even remember like most of the toys I had. Like I got the Yoda, but he was like an 8 ball, like a the fortune reader or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. And
Hmm.
man, it's a couple of starships, and yeah, just that was an amazing time. Even too, I don't know if you remember, but like Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Diet Pepsi, they all had like the characters on them.
Yeah, yeah.
I bugged my dad for weeks, man. We had every single one of
Oh,
those.
that's awesome. I remember the Pepsi ones.
I was so happy. I was so proud.
We were a
And then he
Coke
just
household, so I didn't get any.
my dad was more a Coke guy, but that's the only reason he bought him was just because like I bugged
Yeah.
him for like every and anything Star Wars I saw. Empire, man, just when I hear that, it just makes me happy because like it seems to be. I always get like I watched Phantom Menace first or all that, so I'm
Mhm.
glad to hear that Empire was your intro to Star Wars because man, great
I'm
choice.
I'm just barely old enough, I guess, to have watched it before the prequels came out. So I'm lucky to have been just old enough, but just young enough to live through the prequels as a kid too.
All right, the second question: what's your favorite thing about Star Wars?
This is one of your easy questions, right? Where you just got to narrow it down to one thing about Star Wars. Oh
It could be
man,
multiple things if you need it to be.
it may be. I think obviously, I mean, what draws everyone into Star Wars? It's the Jedi versus the Sith, right? The lightsaber battles, the
Yep.
epic effects and everything. I mean, that's probably it because that's what gets you in the door. But as an adult, I really enjoy the theme of hope that is just weaved really through even, I mean, you go prequels, prequels end pretty bad, right? For the good guys. But
Yes.
you end there with them holding Luke right on Tatooine and the suns are rising and you feel hopeful because you know what's coming. And then
Mhm.
Empire Strikes Back. That's a pretty bad movie, right? For the good guys,
Yes.
but it still ends and you feel hopeful at the end of it. Rogue One says they're always like hope, we have hope, and so it just builds up. And even in the sequels, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I don't hate either, they do a good job of nailing that as well. Once you get towards the end of The Last Jedi, when no one answers, but then Luke shows up, right? They still have a hope for it, which he is a new hope, right? So he shows back
Hmm.
up there. So I think that's one thing Star Wars doesn't miss on is that theme of hope. And I like that because the world's hard, it's a tough place and people need that. So it's somewhere fun to escape to.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that, man. I mean, even like you said, like it's kind of most people I talk to, they're not the biggest fans of the sequels, but I do really like that ending with Luke. I mean,
Yeah.
just yeah, it just seems hopeless. Like they're just trapped. Like they think they're gonna die, and then yeah, all of a sudden here comes Luke, and he just
Yeah.
stands out there to fight the First Order, which is still hilarious to me because even early on, what do you think? I'm just gonna stand in front of the First Order with my laser sword and
Yes.
face them? Like, yes, you are. Now that I know you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it, and I love it.
The
Yeah,
foreshadowing there. I love that scene. I would be getting sidetracked, but I think that's a really cool scene.
it is, man. Yeah, and yeah. I mean, yeah, that just anytime you see the twin suns in Star Wars, I
Hmm.
mean, it's just it's a beautiful sight. Like even for me, as somebody who likes the Rise of Skywalker more than a lot of people, I still get a little emotional towards the end when that's the last thing you see because in a weird way, it's like it ends where it first began. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like it's a full circle. I mean, again, I know
Yeah.
everybody has their opinions on the Rise of Skywalker, but it is like it's just a beautiful, a hopeful scene to me where it's like, okay, now the
Yeah.
future's kind of, in a way, kind of like wide open, I guess you could kind of say.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a cool picture how they do it there. And you're right. Like those suns, the twin suns, are the theme of hope in Star Wars. Like it's as if yeah, the sun's rising on a new day, and in Star Wars, there's even two suns rising on a new day, right? So like, there's a lot to be said for that.
And I mean, like you said too, man, like even in Rogue One, like, yeah, they say like rebellions are built on hope. Like,
Yep.
and that's another thing I'm actually kind of glad they added into Andor as somebody formally who did not like Andor. And after watching Andor season two, I'm a pretty big fan now of the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely has continued to make things better for me in Star Wars, and even in some weird way, I've kind of been watching Star Wars a little differently or looking at it differently, but in like a good way.
Yeah. Well, what the last line in Rogue One is hope, right? That's the very last word that they say because they
Yep.
ask Leia what it is, and that's what she. And then we go into it. Almost reframes what a New Hope is. Like
Mm-hmm.
obviously it's Luke. That's what George was meaning. But
Yep.
for the rebellion side of things, like they've got the Death Star plans. We have hope. We can save the day. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful storytelling, man. It's just more reasons like that why I just love this franchise so much, why it means
Yes.
so much to me.
Agreed.
All right, man. Now comes one of the more harder questions, maybe. Who is your favorite Star Wars character?
It's got to be Anakin Skywalker. I mean, it's. I feel like you can go a lot of different ways, but the arc there is just second to none. The redemption arc that it seems a lot of franchises follow now, right? Where they go full circle and the bad guy ends up turning good at some point.
Hmm.
Well, the bad guy was actually a good guy who turned bad and comes back to good. So it's Anakin Skywalker. I grew up as a kid, elementary, middle school. It was the prequel trilogy. So Hayden Christensen's my guy. He's like Superman for me. So very very big fan of Anakin. And then being an adult, like in my 30s, and he comes back for Ahsoka. How cool is that? You get to see him and he looks the same, and that you sprinkle him in Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. But yeah, it's just it's always going to be Anakin, and the more they add him in, the more it builds up too.
I am a pretty big fan of Anakin. I would lean more towards Darth Vader for me personally. I do
Yeah,
like him more. I guess I don't know how you look at that. If you look at them as one person or like two
I
sides
do.
of a coin.
Yeah, I
Okay,
do.
okay,
Two
does
sides of
help.
the same coin.
So I guess I have to ask, just because I'm curious, because I've been saying this for like the last handful of years since Kenobi came out, and I get kind of some weird looks. But to me personally, Hayden Christensen is the best on-screen Darth Vader we have ever got, and is my personal favorite Darth Vader. I know some people would lean more towards like Sebastian Shaw or David Prowse
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
original trilogy, but
No,
I don't know,
I
man.
mean, it's it's easily, especially when you get those scenes in Kenobi, right? It's easily the most connection we get from Anakin to being Vader. If that makes sense, right? Like to draw the two characters together, especially when he's got the helmet cracked. And you can see Hayden Christensen there, but he's saying no, I'm Vader, right? Like you didn't kill Anakin, I did, which it's not true. Anakin was still in there, but that to me, and we talked about this week, filming the podcast that I do, but that is I believe, the high watermark, the top Star Wars scene since Disney purchased Star Wars. I think that Kenobi
Okay.
versus Vader in that last episode, especially how it mirrors Mustafar so well with their dialogue and such, I
Mhm.
think that's the top Star Wars scene since Disney got the franchise. And I do think that kind of lends to your argument that Hayden Christensen's Vader, it might be the best Vader. I mean, I've never thought about it that way, but it's certainly the most that you can connect back to Anakin there, in my opinion. Outside of, I guess, Return of the Jedi, where it's Anakin in the Vader suit, at the very end. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think that's a crazy statement.
Okay. Okay. Then I also have to ask too, man, because I know everybody praises it, but has Clone Wars also kind of helped your opinion on Anakin?
Eh, I like the Clone Wars, but it's harder for me to watch than say Rebels or like the Bad Batch or something like that. I think arcs of it are some of the best Star Wars, that we've got. But as a whole, it's hard for me to sit and watch all of it. So when I watch the Clone Wars, I'm mainly focusing in on my second favorite character, which is Ahsoka. Right, I get a lot out of Ahsoka in the Clone Wars. I like Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. But yeah, I mean, the Mortis arc, maybe that maybe helped me some with Anakin. And then season 7, it builds into Anakin's story for me as well a lot. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't take away from it.
Because I know some people, they're like, that's the best Anakin Skywalker ever. Like, they just miles better than Hayden Christensen, which I'll say Hayden is good in Revenge of the Sith. I'm not overly the biggest fan of, like, what they do with Anakin in Attack of the Clones, personally, where
Yeah.
he's using the Force to grab a pear
A
and cut it
pear.
from Padme, and
Yeah.
his dialogue is just atrocious to me.
Brutal.
Like, the whole, like, his
Yeah.
super iconic line.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Why stop,
It's
please?
tough. No, I mean, that's a fair argument from people, I would say. I mean, you get a lot more of Matt Lanter's Anakin anyways. It's just as far as screen time goes, you got 7 seasons of him, so it really does allow the character to be fleshed out a lot more. I think Hayden Christensen said that he went back and watched the Clone Wars to better understand Anakin Skywalker going into doing Kenobi and Ahsoka. So, you know, can't knock it if that's what Anakin Skywalker went back and watched Clone Wars Anakin Skywalker to learn more about the character. It must be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's I like Rebels a little bit more than Clone Wars. I would agree, as I would actually personally say I think there's more boring and bad episodes of Clone Wars than there are good. But when it's good. Kind of like Bad Batch. That's kind of how I look at Bad Batch. Like,
yeah.
When they're not doing Sid side missions, it's they're focused. they're focusing on like Crosshair and his conflictions with the Empire and everything they do on Camino in season 1. It's phenomenal television. I absolutely love it. We were talking about it before we started recording, man, but now like this upcoming Maul Shadow Lord, that trailer that just dropped day of us recording this is, I can't wait. It's
going to be so good.
It's yeah. And especially, I don't know if it's true, but I've been hearing that Vader's going to pop up and apparently him and Maul are going to have a duel, which I'm hoping so. Cause I know I believe it is in Rebels. There's the scene where, Maul like senses Vader and he like bolts. And just gets out of there. So it's like, it's like, okay, you're afraid of Vader. I'm curious as to why. So we'll find out hopefully here in the next 2 months, 2.5 months, 3 months, something like that. So
that'll exciting. Be interesting to see. I'm conflicted on the Maul Vader. Depending on how many seasons of Shadow Lord there are, I think you could build up to where that's the final battle. But I would hate for it to be like season 1 and then that's all you ever see of Vader again if they're doing multiple seasons. But it would be cool to like put some story behind why Maul gets out of there so quickly in Twilight of the Apprentice.
Yes. Well, supposedly it's supposed to be a couple of seasons is what I've heard. So that's... So yeah.
I think he'll show up though, right? Because the Inquisitors are there. So he'll show up.
Yeah. I would assume at some point we got to see Vader, even if it's just a shot of him at the end or something. But gotta.
You know what I think he's gonna do. I think they're gonna build up this relationship between Maul and Talon, or whatever they end up calling her. In the show, there's a name out there. I just slips my mind because I just read it today. But I think Vader is gonna be the one that takes her out. And Maul escapes or something, and it's going to be kind of like a heartbreaking thing because Maul just loses everything. So I think eventually maybe Vader takes her out, or she betrays Maul. I'm torn on those two.
One or the other. I think the Vader one is probably a little bit more likely. Yeah, I would think. All right, man. For our next question, what is your favorite Star Wars moment?
This was the hardest question you ask, I would say. And I still haven't decided. So, growing up, it was hands down Mustafar, right? Battle of the Heroes. Mm-hmm. That was it. But now I'm not so sure that it's not the end in Return of the Jedi where Anakin or Vader saves Luke. I think that's a really awesome scene. But then at the same time, there's the World Between Worlds Anakin and Ahsoka, where you see Anakin like on full display being the chosen one, right? He's fully mastered Jedi Anakin, but also he can flip like that and be Darth Vader. That's pretty cool as well. I mean, if I just had to choose one of those three today, I guess I'm going Revenge of the Sith, Mustafar. The duel there, it's just so epic.
The best lightsaber duel in all of Star Wars. Like that's not
Oh yeah,
even close.
yeah,
Because I know a lot of people, that's how they always look at it too, is Obi-Wan versus Anakin. I always still look at it as Obi-Wan versus Vader, because I look at
it
it
is. Yeah,
when Anakin actually activates that lightsaber and cuts off Mace Windu's hand. That's when Anakin Skywalker. I worded it as when he died, but after kind of thinking about it, one of my buddies who I've had on here before kind of worded it a little differently to me. It's more he's been like kind of buried instead of like actually killed, but like that to me, man, everything from that moment on, he is
Vader.
That's Vader. Like and until the next time you see him, like you just brought up, when he sacrifices himself and kills the Emperor to save Luke Skywalker, like that just beautiful, phenomenal moment, man. Just all comes full circle.
Oh, for sure. Now with Anakin, saying you don't see Anakin till he's back, in Return of the Jedi. Do you think we have glimpses of him, like when he's fighting Ahsoka in Rebels, and she cuts half of his mask? He says Ahsoka, like he's kind of crying out to her. Do you think that's Anakin, or is he just kind of, manipulating there?
That one is tough because I've always thought about that too. I feel like, to some degree, I feel like he's kind of calling out, because he even kind of does a little bit of the same thing when he talks to Obi-Wan, like how he says, like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did.
Yeah.
And even to that, like even to those two specific scenarios you're talking about, it kind of does tie into Return of the Jedi at the end. I love it because, like,
he takes the helmet all the way up.
Obi-Wan and Ahsoka can only both crack half the mask, but it just takes Luke, and he fully gets the mask off.
Remove it. I love that picture. That's so good.
It's because it's so heartbreaking. Because, like, I even kind of tie it in with Ahsoka when Huyang picks up Sabine's helmet, and he's like, they never stay together, because it's literally, as soon as Anakin and Obi-Wan go to save Palpatine and Ahsoka goes to Mandalore, that's literally when everything just fell apart. So it's like, the trio should have stayed together. Like, if they would have stayed together, I think things would have been differently. I don't know. Obviously, I don't think we're ever going to see a different scenario of that. I mean, it'd be kind of cool if they did like a Star Wars what if kind of deal, but man, it is like, even just like you brought up earlier with like hope, it's like, keep that hope, keep everybody together.
Do you think we're gonna see them all together in Ahsoka season 2, like Force Ghost, Obi-Wan, Force Ghost, Anakin, and then Ahsoka Tano there on Pridia? That'd be cool.
It would be, but I think the only way it'll happen, it has to be a flashback. I think that's the only way.
Like a Clone Wars flashback.
Yeah, or if she has like another vision while she's in the World Between Worlds. I'm assuming we're going to see the World Between Worlds again, but I don't foresee like Force Ghost Anakin and Force Ghost Obi-Wan being there and talking to Ahsoka. Like, I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, you never know. Anything is possible at this point, but I don't know. That's the only way I see it, is it being another flashback.
That'd be cool to see. I think it would be awesome to see them all three in live action together, like with Ariana, is it Greenblatt, or at the young actress? That would be really cool to see the Ewan Hayden and her as like Obi-Wan, Anakin, Ahsoka. That would be really cool.
It would be, man. I just got to see Ewan back. Like, I'm one of a very rare camp. I actually like the Kenobi show. I mean, I know it's not fantastic for a lot of people. My biggest problems are the character of Reva and how just terrible the budget was. Like, it was almost non-existent. Like,
Yeah.
And even though I like the directing, I just don't understand why when it comes to the actual like lightsaber actions, the camera gets all shaky. That's kind of another
Oh
problem I have too.
yeah.
It's
They
like
filmed it in the volume.
yeah, it's like why? This is like the best part of the show. This is what everybody wants to see is Kenobi versus Vader, and you're like shaking it around like a Rob Zombie movie.
It's like
come on.
Cloverfield, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like watching like any time of like found footage movie. It's like, dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to have to take a Dramamine just to sit here and watch a lightsaber duel. Like, come on.
That's so funny.
All right, my friend. And for the final question, what is your favorite Star Wars film?
Currently, it's Return of the Jedi. It was, I think, for most of my adult life, it was Empire Strikes Back. As a kid, it was Revenge of the Sith, easy. But Empire is iconic. But then a couple years ago, 2, 3 years ago, Kevin and I, for the podcast that I'm on, we went through 1 through 9, looking at it as like one big cohesive story. And at that point, like going 1 through 5 and then watching 6, like really intentionally watching it, not just throwing it on TV and kind of being mindless about it. It just ends so good. Like watching Anakin's story from 1 to 6, it's beautiful. And it's hard to top that feeling when Luke says, "I'm a Jedi like my father before me," and then Vader saves him there. And then, you look and he sees the Force Ghost on Endor. It was so good. So yeah, it's currently, it is Return of the Jedi. But you know how this is, right? Like Star Wars fans, we'll throw it around a little bit. So maybe I could watch it again and be persuaded another way.
I mean, as a kid, I love Return of the Jedi for obvious reasons. As a kid, you see little teddy bears running around. You're like, oh, cool, I like this. But
Yeah.
I've never hated the movie, but like it's in my top 3. It's my 3rd favorite Star Wars movie of all time because back in May of last year, I decided I wanted to watch all the movies because it had been like 4 or 5 years since the last time I watched any of them. And that ending scene with everybody together, and I haven't seen the original cut, so I've never seen the yub dub version. So I've only seen like the victory celebration.
Victory celebration, yeah.
This is the first time I've watched this movie like dozens of times. I bawled my eyes out after watching that ending. I was just like, dude, I've seen this so many times. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, and at the end of it, I just turned it off, man. I'm just like, I love Star Wars. This is what I love, is this. Like,
yeah.
Everybody's won, everybody's happy, everybody's together, kind of like we talked about. And in a way, the evil's been defeated. Obviously, of course, current canon now.
It comes back.
It does. It always does in some way, shape, or form. But no, man, I'm the same way. Like Return of the Jedi, like I hold a special place in my heart. It's probably has the second most emotional lightsaber duel between Luke and Vader.
Yeah.
It has. I even worded it because I have a buddy too. It's his favorite Star Wars movie, but I look at it as the Star Wars movie because, like, when you think about a certain thing in Star Wars, I always end up coming back to Return of the Jedi for some reason. Like what's like a great fun opening? Return of the Jedi, the capturing of Han Solo and the death of Jabba the Hutt. I mean, what's a great lightsaber duel? Luke faces Vader on the second Death Star. What's an iconic moment? Anakin's redemption. Like, there's just so many great, iconic moments. And I don't know, maybe you can answer for me. Like, why do you think Return of the Jedi doesn't get the same, like, love and appreciation that, like, A New Hope or Empire gets?
I think it's easy to answer it for A New Hope because A New Hope, and this is not like a novel idea to me or anything, but George made that movie to stand alone, right? If that was the only Star Wars we ever got, it would have worked out just fine. It introduces your heroes, your villains, the heroes win at the end and they defeat the Death Star, and that's it, right? They get their medals at the end. So it could have been a standalone film and worked just fine. You can literally watch what's right in the middle of the saga and pick right into it. So I think A New Hope is just a very well-rounded movie. It's probably the best or most well-rounded movie of all 11 Star Wars films. If I had to just pick one, Empire is, I mean, it's just because of Cloud City, right? I mean, you get that at the end. I mean, Han Solo, I guess, getting frozen in carbonite, but again, it's that third act of Empire is top notch Star Wars too, and the most iconic movie scene of all time when you get that big reveal. So that third act really carries that movie. I get lost a little bit in the second act of Empire Strikes Back when Luke's on Dagobah and they're in the asteroid field. To me, the pacing's a little off there. That's not that I think it's like the second best Star Wars movie. I'm not knocking on it, but I do think that third act is what really sets it apart from like not just Star Wars, but all movies, right? It's the most iconic line that's came in cinema. So, but yeah,
Yes.
Return of the Jedi is great, and the thing that people overlook in it too is, especially I don't sequel fans, I don't know if they overlook this or not, but when Yoda says like, no, there's another, when Obi-Wan says that boy's our last hope, and then it sets up the fact that Obi-Wan actually wanted Leia the whole time instead of Luke, or Yoda wanted Leia the whole time instead of Luke. And so that really sets up, well, the sequels, Leia is the big hero, right? Like you learn that she's powerful in the Force, but she's also leading a new rebellion. And so I think that's really cool too, just a whole nother part of lore where you see she is equally as important as Luke is. Because you can watch Star Wars and not think that Leia is equally as important, but that's not true, and Yoda says so, right? Like she's actually the one who could maybe even take Vader out. So I think that gets overlooked a lot in Return of the Jedi as well. It's a big cog for the rest of Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, because I know I heard the rumors if George would have actually made 7, 8, and 9 by the time the trilogy ended, he was going to say that Leia was actually the chosen one. So I was like, I don't think I would have minded it because I like actually seeing Leia like use her force powers. Obviously, the first time we actually see her use it is in Empire.
Yeah,
And I
like
don't
talking to
really,
Luke.
yeah, and I don't really remember if she does in Return of the Jedi. I can't remember if she does,
She
but
does. She knows Luke's alive. When Han says
oh,
like Luke, when Han says Luke got off the Death Star, right? And she says yes, like she knows he survived. That's
oh,
it though.
oh, okay, yep, yep, you are right there. Yep, I forgot about that, but I do, man. I don't see why people hate Return of the Jedi. Like I just it to me it's equally as iconic in my personal opinion as Empire Strikes Back, and it's just I think though the one thing if I could change anything about it, I would have used that whole like almost first act of the whole time when they're with Jabba the Hutt. I would have thrown that on TV just to build up to the movie.
Oh yeah,
You could have added another like 30 minutes of like more stuff with maybe the Emperor and
yeah.
Vader together, or even before we see Yoda, go to the Force, like have some more stuff with Yoda, because I mean Yoda's my favorite character in all of Star Wars and just movie character in general. So I don't feel like we get enough Yoda there, but
Yeah.
obviously Empire kind of makes up for it.
What is Empire your favorite Star Wars movie?
Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie, my second favorite movie of all time.
And then what's Revenge of the Sith your number two? And then Return of the Jedi's three. Is that your order?
My second favorite is The Force Awakens.
The Force. Oh yeah, that was such a fun theater experience.
It was
It's a good movie.
that's the biggest reason why it's there, man. Like I have never had a movie theater experience in my life like that. And I still every time I watch the movie, man, I get the same feelings like I'm back in the theater again. Like I get excited, happy, sad when Han gets stabbed. Like
Yeah.
just it's a feeling I just still can't shake. And I will even say this: that movie is in my top 5 favorite movies of all time because of that. And it just
Yeah.
It makes me happy, man. Like, I know people have their feelings towards the sequels and they don't like them or whatever. To me, man, it just how I felt, how that movie makes me feel. The only problem I have with that entire movie is we just don't see the original trilogy cast together.
That's really my only complaint of that as well. I think seven's a solid movie. If I'm like flipping through TV and it's on TNT or TBS or whatever, I'm probably not gonna stop on 8 or 9, but I will always stop on seven because it just goes back to 2015. Star Wars was back after a decade and it was awesome. I mean, just the build up to it, people cheering in theaters again. It's the first Star Wars movie I watched in theater as an adult. Like, I'm with you. That is there was nothing like that time. It was a good time to be a Star Wars fan.
It was, man. I wish we could just go back to that time, man, when we were all, united. There wasn't this like
Yeah.
disgusting toxicity like we have nowadays where people are hating on Ryan Johnson and they hate on the Acolyte, hating on Kathleen Kennedy. It's like, dude, why can't we just all love Star Wars?
Yeah, like what you like and don't like what you don't, and let
Ex-
people enjoy both of those spectrums.
exactly. I also look at it too, man. If you don't like anything Disney's done, you have hundreds of things from Legends you can go and check out. Like if you
If
don't like
not
the
more.
sequel, if not more, exactly. Like if you don't like the sequel trilogy, dude, go read the Thrawn trilogy. For a lot of people, that's the true sequel trilogy. That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm so happy for you. But I like the sequels. I've liked pretty much most of what has been put out as of now. I mean, I the only thing I really can agree to a degree is I didn't really like the Acolyte very much. I want to give it another try and see if maybe I like it a little bit more. But otherwise, I've had less problems with what's come out now than
Yeah.
a lot of people have.
The Acolyte's worse the second time through.
Oh,
Because I did the same thing because I was very conflicted. Like, there was a lot of aspects of it I really liked, and there were some aspects of it that I absolutely hated. And so I was thinking, well, let's watch it again and see if I can recapture what I liked. Could not. Knowing that Soul was a buffoon the whole time really ruined it for me. I don't like how they wrote his character. That's like my biggest issue is I don't like what they did to Soul. And so, like, knowing how it ended the whole time made it worse for me personally, but it did bring incredible lightsaber combat back to Star Wars.
Yes, I as much as I like the Ahsoka show, dude, the Acolyte has the best lightsaber action in current Disney canon.
Yeah, the guy that they got to do the choreography is the guy who did the Rogue One scene, right? The hallway scene. And
Mm-hmm.
so you just completely changed because a lot of the issues with lightsaber combat in the sequels, Ahsoka, whatever, Kenobi, is the props they're using. They're using like the lightsabers like it's on the wall back here, and it's not the same. So they actually changed them in the Acolyte to get closer to what they used in the prequels.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you can tell. And they got a different choreographer too. And I hope that's the route they go going forward.
Yeah, man. 'Cause, I mean, it had so many great. I'm with you, man. Like, I loved Soul probably till like episode 5, maybe even episode 6, and I'm like, it's kind of weird how, in some weird way, you're like obsessed with this young woman, and then
With kidnapping someone.
yeah, and then like even at the end when she's like force choking him, I'm just sitting there the whole time like, you kind of deserve that. I don't even have any pity for you, and I liked you for a majority of the show, and now it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I probably would do the same thing.
He was
And
just super selfish. I thought that was not a way to, I don't know, either don't build him up the way you did or don't tear him down the way you did. But that's a different story for a different day. But I'm with you on that one.
but dude, man, the stranger. I don't care what anybody says. That
So
to
good.
me is one of the best current Disney Star Wars villains like ever. Especially too, like they were gonna build it up of him being the first Knight of Ren. It's like what? Like what? Like what?
Yeah.
And now we are
Yeah.
not gonna see that because they canceled the show, and I understand why.
Well, we're not gonna get it as the Acolyte. They could make a show called Ren.
They could, or they could just, tell Bob Iger to just make this Hunt for Ben Solo movie that I want to see so bad.
Oh, tell me, man, that would be so good. And Bob Iger also is like stepping down this year, so we'll have new Disney president plus Dave Filoni. I think things are looking up.
Yeah, I mean, as we already talked about earlier, man, I mean, the Shadow Lord's already looking like a promising good start. I'm doing everything I can to keep my fingers crossed that Mando and Grogu is going to be up there too, because I'm a
Yeah,
gigantic fan of The Mandalorian. Like, I love that show so much. When I heard it was going to be turned into a movie, I'm like, I'm kind of bummed, but it's going to be kind of cool to get to see Mando and Grogu on the big screen. I'm just hoping
yeah,
it's not season 4 and it's going to be an actual good movie. But if it, to
yeah.
me, if it's on at least the level of Solo, like Solo's like my 8th favorite Star Wars movie. But if it's just a good, fun, adventurous, action-packed Star Wars movie, I will be satisfied.
I'm with you. I think I just want a fun action blockbuster going into the summer. I think we'll get it.
I just hope it's better than season 3 and there's no Jack Black and Middleton cameos.
I'm not even gonna get started on season 3. So bad. I hate it.
Oh wow! I see. I gave it like a 7 out of 10, but like
Oh no.
that episode was rough.
I cannot stand season 3. It takes it down a notch for me. Mando.
Let me ask you this: would you rather watch season 3 of Mando or the Book of Boba Fett?
Oh, that's tough. that's really tough actually because I
Yeah,
don't like
yeah.
either. I don't like either one. Um, probably. Gosh, Book of Boba Fett has that one episode with Luke Skywalker, so that's there. But you also have to watch the Power Rangers that are on the slow speeder bikes.
Yes,
But
yes,
they
you
have
do.
Major Domo too, and I really like him. So the Pikes and the Tuscan story sucked. So I'm gonna go with Mando season 3. I would watch that one, but
Okay,
I would not want to watch either. It would be forcing me to watch one of the two.
okay. I must say, man, you can see Boba do like a
Like a
bantha.
bantha.
Like, stop it. What happened, man? What happened from season 2 Boba Fett to whatever the hell that was? Like,
He's a
dude.
softie now.
Yeah, I said it before I even started watching it, and before we started our new podcast when we did that. I I mean, I still think it. Boba Fett's one of the most overrated Star Wars characters of all time, but
Wow.
season 2 like changed my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a Boba Fett fan. This is Boba Fett, and
When he's
then
beating the dudes with a stick.
a stick, yeah, and he's hitting them with a rocket launcher and everything, and then
Yeah.
you get to his show, and yeah, he's a softie, and guys around him with shields are there, and he decides to shoot a rocket launcher instead of just using a jetpack to get out. I don't know. I have no idea what happened with that show. I mean, the last 3 episodes were good. I mean, the Mando episode I look at as
Yeah.
17 and 18 of the Mandalorian. It's like, oh, those are just.
Yeah, the third act of Book of Boba Fett is pretty solid. I'm with you there.
And it's like, dude, why didn't you just use episode 5 and 6 and let that be the first 2 episodes of season 3 of Mando?
Would have been better.
It would have. And why to bring Grogu and Mando back together in a Boba Fett show instead of waiting?
Overshadow Boba Fett. Eh.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird stuff. Hope things are looking up. I mean, I Book of Boba Fett's like a 6. It's like solid. I could watch it, but it's not one I would rush to go back and watch again.
Right. I'm with you.
But all right, you guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Tales of a Star Wars Fan. I got to thank Will for being my guest. Will, tell everybody where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for having me. First of all, this was like the most fun. That time flew by. You can find me on Padawan Pops on YouTube and Instagram. More active on YouTube, I would say. We have Force with Friends podcast every Friday, so that's the best place to find me.
And obviously, guys, I'm going to link down in the description below all the links to his stuff, so go check him out. And with that being said, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.